5:30 तक वाइंड अप हो जाएगा, 4:30 बजे।
Hello. Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. We are starting the session.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Prasidhi, we are starting the session. That's the reason you are there on the stage.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah, I think Mr. Meena is supposed to join me. By the time Mr. Meena joins, let me start the session with the power producers, view on complying of the new norms. You are from the Oriental Cement, who have already implemented the new norms at your plant, and Mr. Meena from NTPC Dadri would present the case. So I give. You may start with your presentation, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure. Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, all the jury and everyone. The dignitaries present over here. So we are here from Orient Cement Chitapur. First of all, I would like to introduce ourselves as a company. So first of all, what we would like to say is we are now a great place to work certified company since April 2020, which is a new added feather to our cap. So now let us go on to our small abstract of our company. I'd just like to give a brief introduction. Our Orient Cement Limited is a CK Birla Group. The Chitapur unit is situated in Karnataka near to Gulbarga district, which is about 50 kilometers from Gulbarga. The plant has started recently in 2015, as you can see. Presently, we are operating with one kiln, which is of 6,000 TPD, and a single power plant, which is of 45 megawatt power plant, that is a CPP. So companies are manufacturing both OPC and PPC. And so you can just see that we as a Orient Cement are representing in three states. One is in Telangana, that is a Devapur unit, which is a quite old unit and the first unit of the Orient Cement plant. The second unit is in Chitapur, that is Karnataka, from where we are right now presenting. And the third unit is a Jalgaon unit, which is only a grinding unit. It doesn't have a kiln over there. So we are transporting the limestone from here via wagons to Jalgaon, and there they grind it and sell the cement. So going forward, we are ISO 14001, OSHA's 18001, ISO 9001, and also ISO 45001 certified company. So here are the certifications. I just wanted to go through these certifications. So now coming to the power plant, sir. This is the power plant of Orient Cement Chitapur. So it is an overview where you can see a chimney. Right now the chimney, since it is a new built plant, we are having a spherical staircase till the 65-meter height, where the SOx, NOx and all the CEMS related emission monitoring systems are being incorporated. As you can see, we are operating with two boiler and a single turbine. So our captive power plant is quite different from other plants since we are operating with two boilers and a single turbine combination. So usually you don't see this combination. This is a very rare combination which was being tried over here. So we are having two boilers and single turbine. Each boiler is a circulating fluidized bed combustion boiler, that is a CFBC boiler, and each boiler is having a capacity of 94 TPH steam generation capacity. And pardon me, sir. Hello. So the temperatures are temperature is around 540 degrees centigrade, and it is a high pressure boiler, that is 111 kgs per centimeter square is generated in this boiler. And turbine is an extraction cum condensate turbine, and the parameters, as you can see on the screen, the pressure is 107 at the inlet of the turbine and 535 at the inlet of the turbine. temperature. And it is having 4 uncontrolled extractions. And we are using here ACC, that is air cooled condensers, to cool the condensated steam, not the water cooled condensers. Next, coming on to the CEMS details and the remote calibration facility that we are having here in the Chitapur plant, that is in the captive power plant. So the SOx NOx analyzer what we are using is of Forbes Marshall make, and it is a very unique one. It is an in situ type, not the extractive type of component what we are using over here. And it works on NDI technology, that is non-dispersive infrared rays principle. And the remote calibration facility, right now this facility was incorporated in the year 2018. So both SO2 and NOx data are transmitted uninterruptedly to CPCB directly through a black box. The black box in turn is nothing but a transmitter which transmits the data directly from the SOx NOx unit to the CPCB without any intermediate servers. So that is also being provided by Forbes Marshall, and we are also transmitting the data through Forbes Marshall server only, that is EnviroConnect is our service provider. So with this, we are now facilitated to have a remote calibration. That means CPCB can at any time do a remote calibration without any interruption. So in this plant, we are this plant is commissioned only in 2016. So the emission limits for us are SO2 is 600 mg per Nm cube, and NOx is below 300 mg per Nm cube. And regarding SPM also, we are using a Forbes Marshall server. Through Forbes Marshall server only, it is being transmitted to the CPCB. Going ahead, I will just brief out how we are controlling this SO2 and SPM. So sir, here we are having for each boiler is having 5 fields of ESPs, that is electrostatic precipitators. So it is designed for N+1, that is 4+1. When the 4 fields are on, switched on, our emission levels, that is SPM, is below 50 mg per Nm cube, and when the 5th field is switched on, we come below 30 mg per Nm cube. And it is tried, and it is working well and within the limits for us since 5 years without any issues. Now coming down to controlling of the SOx, that is SO2. For controlling SO2, we are having a lime powder dosing bunker which has been installed in our boiler. Each boiler is having a lime powder dosing system bunker, which is which is of capacity of 50 meter cube. We have invested around 1.3 crores initially, right from the beginning of the plant. We have invested this, and we have incorporated it. As you can see, the lime powder here, we are taking it from as we are running a cement plant, we get a ready-made dry lime powder from an extraction point where we load it into the bulker, and from the bulker we are loading it into the lime powder dosing bunkers, which is each of 50 meter cube. Each boiler is having one each bunker, and from the bunkers it goes into the DCF, that is the drag chain feeders, and from the drag chain feeders it is going into the boiler where it burns along with the boiler.
Rameshji, we lost you.
Oh, just a second, sir. Sorry for this one interruption, sir. I think we are having some. Yeah. So as you can see, I just described that we are filling the lime powder ready-madely from our cement plant into the bulkers, limestone bulkers, and this bulker we take it down to our power plant, and through an pneumatic conveying system we pump this bulker lime powder into the lime dosing system bunker. And from the lime dosing bunker, it directly goes into the DCF chamber, that is a drag chain feeder chamber, where it mixes with the coal. As you can see, there is a coal bunker, and it also comes into the DCF chamber. It mixes with the coal, and along with the coal, it is being pumped into the boiler. So here we initially, when we started the plant, we faced some hiccups to fine tune it. But once we were able to fine tune the lime powder, amount of lime powder to be dosed into the bunker, then we have since we are now well within the limits of the CPCB norms. So now once it goes into the bunker, the boiler, obviously it burns along with the coal, and it reduces the SO2 emissions. So also our fly ash, we are utilizing it as we are a cement plant. We are directly pumping the fly ash into the cement silos. So we are using the 100% fly ash into our cement plant. And the bottom ash hopper also is being bed ash is also used for cement production only. So I just wanted to share one more thing. This is the height where we have placed both our SOx NOx analyzer and SPM monitoring unit. So this is just a brief about the boiler. I hope everybody here is a power plant expert, so I need not explain this slide. Probably it would be something else. So this is just a coal handling system in our power plant. From the raw mill, it comes into the belt conveyor, then to the primary screen, then it goes into the crusher where we crush it into less than 8 mm, and then it comes into the belt, and from there to the coal bunker and into the boiler. So next, this is the slide where I just wanted to highlight ourselves. So in the year 2019, April, our heat rate of the plant was around 3769 kilocal per net heat. This is the net heat rate what I am showing here. We are not showing the gross heat rate. This is the net heat rate what we are showcasing here. So from 3769 in last April 2019, we have come down to 3612. So there is a subsequent reduction in the heat rate of about 150 kilocals. So which significantly we have achieved through n number of energy optimizing activities, which I am going to show you in the next case. The peaks what you are seeing here in the month of August, September till November, this is obviously the place where heavy rains go on, and we have a less load demand. So we operate the plant in a very less efficient load. So that is why we see this peak in the heat rates. So this is the slide where we want to showcase our heat rate reduction, how we have done it. So usually I just want to simplify a small thing that since we are a 2 boiler and a single turbine unit, based on our load demands, we are only operating a single boiler with the existing 45 megawatt turbine. When we are operating a single boiler, so we can generate 94 TPH, 94 tons per hour of steam, which will be given to the turbine. But in turn, when the heaters come into line, but we will not be able to achieve the feed water temperature at the inlet of the economizer should be 230 degrees centigrade as per the design to achieve a better efficiency. But whereas the plant is designed for 2 boilers and a single turbine, so we can achieve the 230 degrees centigrade temperature of the feed water only when we are running both the boilers. But since we are running only single boiler, we are able to achieve only 198 degrees centigrade with a single boiler operation. So in that case, just to improve the efficiency of the boiler and the feed water temperature, we have gone down, we have gone up with 2 megawatt. Earlier, we were producing only 20 megawatt with a single boiler operation, but now we are generating 2 megawatt excess. It means we have overloaded the boiler to 98 TPH. Of course, we are within the limits of the overloading. Being within the limits, we have improved our power generation to 22 megawatt, which in turn has raised our feed water temperature from 198 to 203 degrees centigrade. This subsequently has went on to reduce our power consumption by 1.5%. So in turn, as you all know that since we have reduced the auxiliary power consumption, it has reduced the plant net heat rate also. And next, one more modification, which is a very interesting modification. So since right from the beginning, we are operating a boiler feed control valve. So we saw a pressure drop of 14 kgs across the feed control valve. That is a FCV, feed control valve. From the boiler feed pump, it comes to the feed control valve. And after the feed control valve, we were observing a 14 kgs drop in the pressure. So then we took on and we installed a new trim set. We consulted the control valve vendor and we have installed a new trim set inside the boiler feed control valve. And after installing that trim set, we have brought down the 14 kgs per centimeter square drop to 4 to 5 kgs per centimeter square drop, which also has resulted in an energy saving of 840 kilowatt hour per day. So this was a major saving which we could get. And another one is we didn't have VFDs for the auxiliary cooling water pumps. So for that also we have installed 2 numbers of VFDs, and there, since we have installed the VFDs, we could bring down the water pressure, that is from 4.2 to 3.1 kgs per centimeter square of centimeter square. That is almost 1.1 kg drop. So which has also resulted in a very big saving of 1080 kilowatt hour per day. With this above improvements, that is 1, 2, 3 what improvements is there, we were able to reduce the plant net heat rate by 157 kilocal per kilowatt hour. So these were the contributions for reducing the heat rate. So this is how we have brought down the coal to power ratio. In the year 2018-19, we were somewhere around 1.07. Our coal to power ratio was 1.07.
Mr. Bashiri,
yes, sir.
Your presentation is back. You're not able to visit your presentation.
Okay, sir. Now it's visible, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I think there's a lot of network issue we are facing here.
That is only the. I'm also, getting messages from the participant that we are not able to view it. It is only because of connective issue.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sorry for that. Yes, sir. So coal to power ratio, sir, which is a very common and a very important factor in the power plants to operate efficiently. We were around 1.07. Our coal to power ratio was 1.07 MT per MWH in the year 2018-19, which we have subsequently brought down to 0.97, 0.962 around. So this has also resulted in a very good result in reducing the net heat rate. So this is just a slide which everybody has shown regarding the new emission standards. So in the second picture, you can see, so this is where we are seeing this is the limestone powder bunker, and this is the pneumatic system where the bulker comes and the bulker loading is done through this pneumatic conveying system into this bunker. And from here, it mixes with the coal. Along with the coal, it goes into the boiler. So These are few of the pictures which we have taken in from our power plant and cement plant. Air pollution concentrations. This also AQMS. I'll just quickly go through this, sir. These are the last 3 years air pollution concentrations in CPP, what we have shown here. SPM, we are well below 17 and we have brought down to 12 from past 3 years. And SO2, earlier we were 450, and after fine tuning the limestone dosing system and the conveyor, so we were able to subsequently bring down the emission levels to 165 mg per NMQ. And also NOx, since we have increased the load and we have also fine tuned the boilers with the 3 T's, that is the temperature, turbulence and time. So with that also we were able to achieve the low NOx. Since we are using G13 coal, it is having a high ash content and low sulfur content. So with that also, and also our boilers are designed for 70% of ash content. So it is a very good boiler design provided by ThyssenKrupp. These are just the noise levels which we had. This is regarding the wastewater treatment, ETP. It was ETP also, we are a ZLD, sir. Actually, we are a zero liquid discharge. We are not discharging any of the effluent outside the plant. We are totally utilizing this in cooling the ACCs. That is, under the ACC, that is air cooled condensers, we have provided such a system that this water is being treated and pumped to that system so as to cool the that condensate steam, which in turn improves our vacuum in the turbine. So it is also used for that. And supposing we are not using for that, since it cannot be used continuously also, in that case we are pumping this water to the surrounding greenery plantations. So this is our reservoir and a view of our power plant, cement plant, complete look in a single pic, and a few of our green belt developments. So totally we have 2,31,000 plants being planted in our plant in the past 3 years. In the past 5 years. And these are few of the pictures, sir, of our green belt development. So since it is a cement plant and everybody feels that cement plant would be a very dusty plant, but our plant, I can say proudly that we are having a zero dust on our roads or anywhere else, and the greenery is also a lot which we have developed. And this is a new duck house which we have implemented or constructed near our main gate. This is just for an ambience look, and this was the awards which we received from the last year. And this is an Apex award which we received in the last year. That's it, sir. We are done. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity provided to us. And thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bashedi-ji, for the wonderful presentation. I think Mr. Sarkar want to ask from the Farakad plant, could you please tell me about the cyclone technology for NOx control? I am not about knowing about the technology, and Mr. Basheti, would you like to answer if you have knowledge on this?
Actually, sir, here we are using in our power plant, there are 2 types of cyclone controls in CFBC. One is a hot cyclone and another is a cold cyclone. So here in our power plant, we are using a cold cyclone. So probably cyclone, since we are using a cold cyclone and our most of the temperatures in the bed are below 850 degrees centigrade, so obviously we get a NOx control, and we have to maintain or fine tune our PA fans and SA fans in such a way that you maintain your O2, that is oxygen levels, you combust your coal in such a way that you don't produce a lot of unburnt carbon, which will result obviously in a low NOx.
Okay. So, I think probably we would move on further. To the August gathering, I would also request the participants to join us on the mobile phones via mobile app which we have built for the industry. This is going to be a community app for people to connect with each other, chat with each other, and interact with each other. I'll once again play the video of the mobile app, and I have already given the links in the WhatsApp group for people to go and install the mobile app in your phone. Let me play the video once again so that yesterday I played it once. The first video was about the app which we have developed during the pandemic times for the industry, the fraternity from the thermal power industry to be connected as a group together. The second video which I played was for the next conference which you're organizing on the clean coal technologies, where we're talking about gasifying coal to derive various other important derivatives other than the energy which thermal power plants are generating, which will bring us to low dependency on urea imports and almost zero dependence on the crude oil imports in future if we use these technologies to generate energy in our country. Honorable PM has already committed 100 million coals to gasify by 2030, and we already have a couple of projects which are ongoing and few projects which are upcoming. So moving further, since I have not seen any questions from anyone, nor I have seen Mr. Meena's problems getting resoluted on the technology front, I would thank Mr. Basetti ji for the wonderful presentation and move on to the next session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity given to us by the Mission Energy Foundation, and we are heartfully thankful to the Mission Energy Foundation. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure is mine, sir. So I will end this session and move on to the next session, sir.